Hey Dari, this is Joe, PCG Consulting. I've got your report here, so I got Team A, Team B. Just want to look at the numbers with you and kind of do a quick review. I blew it up to 150% because soy viejo so I can see. So, you got 181 leads, for the month. And just give you an idea, 181 divided by, there's um, um, 12, 13, 14 days in the month already. So that's 12.92 a day. 12.92 times should be 26 days in this month. 335. Maybe 29. So you're going to be around 400 or 500 leads, and then if you add your calls looks like really low. So I mean you're 181 and that. You got 203, so you could just take that and pace it out, divide it by the number of days so far for the month, and multiply it by your total month days that are available, and you can see where you're progressing to. Just blind's eye, just so how you can see. I look at it right here, 203. So I ought to see 10% right there. There's your plateau, right? Really looking for that 12, 13, 15% from you guys. So then I look at this 54 to 32. So 32% of my total leads calls on Team A. Okay, I'm on Team A, right? Yep, Team A. 32% I'm down. The majority of everybody's down. Curious number here that jumps out at me is 80% from Gerardo. So is everything an appointment? Like we'll be there sometime in the afternoon Saturday? Um, Confirmation of appointments would clear that up. Okay. Then of course he's at 25% show. So ton of appointments. It seems like look how small the numbers are. And then his shows. I don't know. I mean, take a look at it. And then he's got 0 sold. So I don't know. That's only 10 leads. 10% should be 1, right? So, uh, take a look at it for what it is. You got a lot of these guys that are not even at 40% on appointments versus contacts. So I know what's happening. The salesperson's mindset is, they want to close the car deal. And leads are one step different from that mode, right? They're hunters, they're not farmers. And they're getting involved in negotiation. There's 4 great areas. When I come out in January, we'll go over those, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Because what happens is they get involved in the price issue, the trade amount issue. They're looking for a certain number. They get involved in the credit app, which am I approved? Okay, then what are my payments? And then what interest rate did you use? And they blow it from there. And then, distance. My PMA no longer exists when we're talking about digital. I can go anywhere. So the thing is, and if we can help them to master that conversation, shorter language, shorter words, powerful, impactful words, I can convert that, satisfy the guest with some information without giving up the farm, and I can satisfy that and convert it to an appointment. Obviously, we got some work to be done there. Now it says shows to appointments. Everybody seems to be doing okay there. I don't know what's going on, Jerry. He's new, I guess, if I remember right. But you got an incredible amount here, and it looks like we're selling a decent amount of what's showing. If we could get the appointments up, the rest would take care of itself, wouldn't it? I mean, look at that. You got 7, 9, 9, and that's 33%. Something's wrong there, so we might need to take a look at that. I'll call you about that. So just give you, for instance, I'm looking at 7%. I mean, if I got 15 sold out of 203, should have been 20 at 10%. So it makes sense, right? If I were to double this here to go to 64, let's say we just go to 60, the rest of these numbers would blow up and you'd be at 12. Then we can execute better here. What are they saying in a conversation of securing an appointment? That is key. Okay. As you look as individuals break down, you can see who's masterful at calls and who's not. It's kind of interesting if you look at the calls, right? The phone pops. Who's pulling a decent ratio in your reports? Your report is kind of a little bit hard to look at, but you only got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 4 people taking calls, so I guess they're part of that team. That's cool. But funny looking numbers, doesn't it look like it? So Doesn't look like they're being very effective on the phone. So we probably need to talk about that. What are they saying? And are they going for an appointment? Or are they trying to sell the car? Every salesperson is going to have that issue. They want to sell the car. They got to sell the appointment before they can sell the car. Because if I give out anything, my best price, there's a way to say that in a short, smooth way, and then go for the appointment that would satisfy the guest. Best number on trade, same thing. There's a real good, smooth way for that. How do I handle the credit app thing? How do I handle the distance thing? They're running into those issues, so that's where we need to train them. Okay, let's take a look at the leads. Let's see who's working here. Contacts versus leads. Well, he had 6 and he reached 1. So he had 4 calls and he made 2 appointments. So I don't know. I mean, look at the ratios comparisons there. So, he did 2 appointments off of 1 contact. So we need to talk about purifying your report. See, I look at the report and I can't tell where you are. Confirmation of appointments today and tomorrow is crucial for your job role. People that were appointments yesterday that didn't arrive, okay, who's following up with those and how are you delegating that? Just like you're distributing the leads and you're on top of the leads that are coming in, leads today don't always equal sales today. Leads today is filling the bucket. I could have a car sold today on a lead that I worked 6 months ago. I was at a dealership a few days back that they actually were selling a customer that started in March in the system. And I went back and looked because I couldn't believe it. And sure enough, on again, off again, on again, off again. And they finally got to the end of the year and they decided, hey, they made a purchase today. So if that girl did not follow up with those people and keep that in the system, she would have missed that sale today, right? So here's the deal. You got to take a look for what it is. I got 181 pragmatically. I can just go real quick because, these are salespeople. I got 13 sold. So that's not bad. 13 of 181 is not, what is this? Sold versus showed you. So we need to clean up your report. I sent you an example and it wasn't exactly how it needed to be, but we can fix it. But here, let's take a look. So 10 would have been 8, 10% would have been 18. So I'm not too far bad. But look at the ratios. Appointments, right? So this total shows total sold. So these are appointments, visits, the shows versus those. Look how that breaks down. So what we need to do is we need to kind of get everybody into at least the yellow and maybe get into the green. This right here, Edward Alvarez, he had 4 and then 3 and then 2 and then 2. So, he's rocking. Okay, but God almighty, can we get that guy more leads? I don't know. Why are these guys getting 25 and 30 and pulling the numbers that they're pulling? You should moderate that. Pull those leads back. I mean, if this dude is this great, this guy right here, Edward, if he's that great, get that dude more leads. Obviously, right? This 55 is not bad. 42, a little work. Salvador needs to do the work. But these are not nowhere near what we need to be, right? So appointments versus contacts, are they running into that same problem? Let's flip over to Team B. I'm going to blow it up to 150 so I can see it because I'm getting old. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Same thing, 99. Okay, so I should have 9 sold at 10%. I like it. Okay, I see a lot of red in the areas. Like, how in the world could this guy contact versus lead be 14%? Jesus just not calling anybody? I mean, you can't just automatically expect that a lead come in and I have automatic contact. Are we texting people to break the barrier and immediately consummate the two-way conversation? I don't know. What are they saying? How are they doing it? I mean, you got Rod with nothing. So I don't know why. What's Rod doing? Is he only getting calls? Okay, well, let's take a look. Rod Owen down here. He got 13 leads and he sold 1. I don't know. 29 should be, 10%. That should be basically 3. We got 4. Okay, hoorah. but look at what your team is producing. Not real sure why we're going in this direction. So I need to be at 60. There is 53, 58. Those are acceptable. 63, I'm okay. 56, I'm okay. So they're actually doing a job on a lesser amount of leads. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 people. And maybe your numbers are looking good because we got Bill's counting there. And I know how Bill's count works, okay? So he might be pulling that average up. But here's what I'm thinking. If I got that many on Team B, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I basically got the same number of people. Why is this team getting more leads? This team's getting more leads and they're doing a worse job at it, and this is getting less and they're closing a decent amount of percentage. Why don't I mix that up? Why don't you get your team to pull you a higher average, altogether? So besides confirming appointments today and tomorrow and delegating that, you don't want the salespeople to do that too. They got to make the appointment. We need a different voice, a manager or a different voice, because it creates this high sense of urgency for a customer that whole dealership's on notice because I'm coming. Everybody's in. They know I'm coming. So it creates a high point of emergency or urgency that they know I'm coming and they're aware. You see what I mean? Or I'm going to get a reschedule opportunity so I can maintain my appointment base, right? Whole idea is to connect, convert, right? Connect, convert to an appointment, and then secure that confirmation so they get here. Because when they do, we sell cars. We sell cars. And that's the plan, brother. We want to sell cars. I don't know if you're using this or not. I don't think you understood how to do it. Well, maybe you did. 14 to 25 days. Okay. So you didn't pull it in your daily count, but your total count, and that gives you your trend. So it gives you like you're going to have 59, 70, 96. And that's not acceptable, dude. Remember, we were like at 80, and we want to be at 100. But this is your trend for the month, but hopefully we can do better than that. Right now, I could take your 33, right, and divide it by your 44 days. And I take my 33, your 14 days. And that's 2.357 times your 25 days in the month. So I guess you're going to be closed. So yeah, you're pacing 59. There's opportunity there. Okay, not a knock. Everything's good. I know you had issues or you had thoughts or comments from some other colleagues in your field, and what you're just going to have to do. I mean, you can't sit there and say, "Yeah, I do all this stuff," and then I may or may not be getting paid for it. We need experience there. We actually had a pretty good, kiss of luck where we hit the 11%. But here's where the rubber meets the road, bro. Are you going to be able to consistently maintain that? Can we consistently maintain 10%? That means I never quit on bugging everybody about appointments, bugging everybody about, hey, what happened to the appointments yesterday? And then, of course, you're delegating that and getting some support. You could even use the desk. And then moderating these guys. If you got someone that's underperforming, I mean, pull the leads back and sit the dude down and let's bust it out. Or when all these people that are talking about where we're showing contacts versus appointments, if they're low, we already know they're having trouble in one area. I mean, what do they say when a customer says, "I just want the best price, or I ain't coming in," or "I got to have a certain number for my trade, or I ain't coming," via email, text, or phone, doesn't matter. Or, "I sent you the credit app, why can't you tell me if I'm approved?" And then they go ahead and say, "I'm approved." Okay, what are my payments? They give them a range. My gosh, that's too high. What rate are you using? You see what kind of trouble they're running into? And then what if a guy is 2 hours away? And we're going to work our butt off to get the best number for their trade, best number for payments, credit, best price. You give it to them, and what do you got? You got a guy or gal sitting out there in the world that we don't have anything better than my best number in their hand. And what they'll do is they'll go into some other place pretty quick. And even if they can't even meet our deal, we did give them the greatest deal on earth. You know what that other dealer's going to say? "Dude, they're robbing you blind. Let me work this out for you," right? And because they go through the osmosis of the experience of being on the showroom floor, evaluating a trade, involved in the experience of looking and smelling and feeling and touching the new car, then that whole dynamic changes. See what I mean? They can sit there and argue for this number on the trade, but now that they got a visual inspection, another store could say, it's really not worth it without having to say it because they didn't, they handled it right. See, we just served it up. So those opportunities are there. If I take a look at your total count, you could take this bottom box, like from the original report I sent you. If not, I can send you another one. And it'd be nice if you would combine the two so we could get one shot look at the store, right? Am I moving the needle? Are we really progressing? Or do I've got, a lot of up and downs? How do I moderate that? You start taking away opportunity from them. If I can't do a better job of pulling a decent number, I'm going to sit down with this guy, make sure I help them to the point that they get it, and if they still can't, then I'm going to start changing the dynamics. Sir, if you own the dealership and you spent the money that they spend to be a dealership, you would care, right? So you got 203 here, and then you got 99 here. So, you're over 300. We should have, 10% would give me 30 plus souls there. So there's 11. And then you got 15. So that's 16. So I really ought to have like about 30, right? And 30, 31, 32, somewhere around there to be 12, 13%. And I'm sitting at 26. Do I got room? I think so, right? So opportunities existing. Looks like you're trending okay on leads and phone pops, not really dying out on you. Should be going up because of the holidays. But then I need you to be involved, dude. If we're gonna pitch a case for you to get settled in, with a pay plan and all this other stuff that I know that you're thinking and concerned about, we need to show everybody we can do the job. 1 month out of the hole that, we pop 11%, okay, doesn't make me a winner. The consistent year over year production, month over month, quarter over quarter, showing that I'm at least maintaining a minimum standard of 10, and I have spikes at 12, 13, 15, 18. But anytime that I have a valley, I don't really want it to be below 10. See what I'm saying? So take a look at it for how I look at numbers. Numbers tell me what's going on, and I know how to direct and support direct support to someone, and I'm probably pretty clear on what's going on. So how do you intervene? How do you support? How do you coach? How do you educate? Right? You got to get them there to where they go, man, this is the most awesome thing because I figured out a new way to say, a phrase or two of appropriate wording, and I convert everybody to an appointment. Because when they get here, then we do the magic. But it's difficult. A salesperson that works people on the floor and works leads sometimes cannot change mode. They're not a farmer, they're a hunter. I can't go from hunter to farmer very good, and so you get numbers that look like this, right? We might need to go ahead and pull off a 12% month and pull in the units and the gross and sit down and talk to Charlie and say we ought to really look at converting, right? So what if we put a BDC together and they bring a larger amount of people in based on the leads we have? The floor will be happy because they'll get fed the people coming in, right? If not, we need these people to get on it, baby. All right? Appreciate you, bro. Love you. Merry Christmas to you and yours. I'll see you next month, but look forward to the next report. Thanks.